And we're live. Whoa! Hello! Welcome back to the Sigil stream. My name, as always, is Mr. Holland Guthrie, and I am here once again with the talented, the nefarious Alistair Blackcloak.
What's up, folks? Hey, Gary, give me a beat.
Boots and cats and boots and cats. Boots and cats.
Yeah,
and
I'm Alistair Blackcloak, and I'm back, folks.
Boots and cats. Boots and cats.
And you're gonna someday soon. You're gonna be on my yoke, yeah.
Boots and cats and boots and cats. Wickety, wickety, wickety.
Yeah!
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 I am also joined by the lovely and talented Erica.
Oh, the applause! I wasn't expecting that.
The absolutely wonderful and hilarious Ms. Jo Pollack.
Hello.
And the ever-pleasant Mr. Gary Furlong.
Ever-pleasant is a great way to describe someone. I like that. I want to be ever-pleasant from now on.
That's right.
Oh,
you are ever here in my hearts and minds. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Hereafter, the First Fire, Chapter 15.
Can I just say, Gary, that was really quite the beatboxing
That was
style right
quite
there. I like it.
It's a hidden talent, not one I break out often.
I love
But
it.
I can hit the boots into cats when I feel like it.
Very good.
Yeah, stepping on cats is kind of my thing.
With
Call
boots.
it Polite Beat 2000.
Like B2000.
Boots and cats and boots and cats.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to, obviously, the Sigil stream. We are here today carrying on our wonderful little story of Hereafter and working towards something rather nefarious. I'm excited to be announcing in the coming weeks. Hope you're having a great night, and hope you are all having a great night. I'm going to ask you all about that in a quick second. But I want to mention something. I've mentioned it previously on this stream and the other Sigil stream that we do. But for those not aware, Aaron Acevedo, the CEO, the owner of Sigil, basically the man behind the curtain of all of this, is going through a really rough time, more specifically his wife, who is having a very difficult fight with cancer. And we're trying to do all we can. Unfortunately, our money does not floweth out of our fingers like it does in my dreams. So what we're going to be doing, Joe and myself, is this Saturday at 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be starting a 12-hour marathon game-a-thon stream where we'll be playing a myriad of games, fighting games is sort of the spin we're going with. They're going to be some Left 4 Dead, Back 4 Blood type stuff.
Shoot cancer with a gun.
That's right.
Yeah.
Kill it.
Free run.
Yes.
I'm by myself a hearty fuck cancer.
Good for you.
Hell yeah.
man.
But yeah, we're going to be doing that 12 hours. It's going to be chill. It's going to be more of a marathon. Like I said, Eric is going to be joining us. We have some other friends from the other stream. Maybe Gary, probably not Hallister will stop by, but maybe Ahmed.
I'm not much of a gamer.
Yeah, what do you play, Hallister?
People against each other, mostly.
They
I
have
like
those.
graffiti and and slaves, of course. You know.
Yeah.
I'm
for sure.
hearing Among Us, I'm hearing Splatoon, and I'm hearing Monopoly.
Oh yeah, Monopoly's great.
Alistair would be good at Monopoly.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so we're going to be doing that for 12 hours straight. We're also going to be doing a little RPG in the section there, and we'll be having some guests as well from RPG's Greatest Legends. I believe Shane Hensley is going to be stopping by for Pinnacle, as well as a myriad of other people. There's also going to be a ton of giveaways and things that you can be winning. I think we're going to be giving away copies of Sigil's thing.
S5E?
No.
Giving away their thing.
Yeah, giving away thing.
You know
how
you
to
want
do
it.
You want that sigil thing.
Savage Sign, we're going to be giving away 1 and 2, as well as virtual tabletop supplements that Sigil's been working over the years, as well as some stuff from Beetle and Grimm. I think there's going to be a lot of awesome stuff that you can win just by participating in the event, and most importantly, going to the GoFundMe link and helping. Obviously, it's so difficult as a Canadian not to speak on the healthcare system politically, and I'm not going to. Suffice it to say that if you are an American, you're watching this, you recognize the cost of of going through something like this. So this and no one needs to deal with that stress on top of something that is already so heartbreaking. So this Saturday, noon Eastern Standard Time, we will be kicking off a 12-hour stream, Joe and myself and others. And wish us luck and come hang out and hopefully donate if you can. It's a very important.
Join us. Links are in the description of the video, right, Harlan?
Wait, what? My applause was too loud.
Oh, sorry. Thank you so much for applauding, everyone. Links are in the description of the video, right, Harlan?
Links are not in the description of this video.
Because you'll figure it out.
Because you'll figure it out. But there is a link in the Sigil Discord. It is going to be on the Facebook. It is on the. It's been tweeted out. And here's the card. Look, there's a little picture right there. You can see.
Look at those beautiful people.
The GoFundMe link I do have as a banner across the screen, which I'm going to do right now. But that's like a number. I hate when I do this, right?
And it was
write it down, everyone.
GoFundMe.me/
That reminds me
7B098D5.
That reminds me of being little and watching TV with it was like phone, like shopping or whatever.
Yeah.
And really wanting something from my parents and writing down the whole product number and the phone number and being like, I need a light bright. And then being like, no.
Oh, COD, cash on delivery.
Exactly.
The GoFundMe is
Then
also
they gotta
linked
pay
on their-
for it when it gets
their
there.
website.
The GoFundMe is also linked on Peg's website.
Thank you. Rerun 941.
So anyway, that's this Saturday at noon. Again, please hang out. It's going to be a time, and it's going to be, it's difficult when dealing with subjects like this because it's obviously trying to think of a more eloquent word for sad, but let's just be as simple as I am. It's a sad time. But the stream will not be just about that. We're going to be having some fun times. We're going to be playing some games. We're going to be having some RPGs. We're going to keep it light, but we're going to be reminding you constantly and never-endingly to try to give your support if you can and share it, because even if you can't afford it, other people might. That's the idea of what we're doing.
Absolutely.
So, anyway,
Enjoy it, share
that
it.
is enough of that. We're going to pick it up now as well. Hallister, how are you doing?
You guys gonna start gaming now?
Yeah, once Ahmed gets here.
All right.
Hallister.
He's so late.
He just left.
I kicked him. That was me.
Has a short fuse sometimes.
No.
I'm kidding.
I have the longest fuse in the bed. Wait, he's
well,
not back yet. Oh, wait.
Wait.
For Ahmed to fix it. How's everybody doing? How you guys doing?
Great.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah?
I've
Good
worked
week?
all day.
Oh no.
I have a list of overtime hours that I log, and I keep I'm into the consecutive days now, consecutive weeks, consecutive months. So I gotta actually submit them so I get my overtime, so I can go back to continue working overtime, but sitting on my little dragon hoard of overtime.
What are you gonna do with all that cash?
Look at it mostly.
Just
That's it. Spend it on
all you
Starbucks
got
and
time
be brought
for.
to my house so I don't have to cook and I can do more overtime.
Are you bad on... Oh, hey, Ahmed. I didn't see you.
Oh, hey guys.
You,
Oh,
you
sorry,
missed
I'm late.
Hallister, man.
Hallister.
Who?
Pokeroo.
The most interesting gentleman.
Can I say, Ahmed, I love the light in your room.
Yeah, you look
I did
beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Very
this
romantic.
is magenta. It's
I like it.
magenta.
Oh, is it the bulb?
Also,
There's a romance setting too. You guys want to see romance?
Yes,
Yes,
I do.
please.
You want to see romance? Here's romance.
yeah, do it.
Ooh.
I think the
Like-
other one was
like
more
rose
romantic.
gold.
The magenta. Maybe
like
it's
the
because I'm
magenta?
on a screen, but
The magenta makes the painting behind me pop.
Yeah, it does.
Nice.
Does.
Painting?
Yeah.
It glows.
I don't know. I like the purplish a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what it is? The pink makes me think you got swallowed by a whale. And that's what you're
Aw.
seeing inside, because it's just that kind of thing. It's an adorable whale, a nice, friendly
Always
whale.
just
But
Erica says what we all
Interesting
think. Let's sit on that. I was
100% of the
also
time.
thinking.
I just want to help you out, guy.
Jabu Jabu belly situation over here.
Some Jabba's belly?
Jabu Jabu.
Who's Jabu Jabu?
These are from people who play Legend of Zelda.
Hey, this
No.
Zelda's. That's all my Zelda people out there.
Come on, guys. Ocarina of Time.
Playing Jimmy Jabs.
I don't play that. But Yeah, so Erica's doing overtime, OT hours. That's great.
So much.
But it's going to cash in, right? And you're going to do a lot with your big pile of cash. You're going to buy us all Ferraris.
She's just gonna lay on it. We
Honestly,
discussed this.
I hate to say this because the corporate thing of like don't do things to like don't kill yourself for your job sort of thing. But the amount of overtime and work that I'm doing is actually making things easier for other people. So I feel like I'm helping other people with their burnout by helping
its
to
own
You've already
reward.
done your charity work for the year.
It's there you go, yeah.
Yeah.
And the tax receipt I get from that is everybody's everlasting gratitude and telling me how wonderful I am, which is true, but I like when people say it.
Erica, you're wonderful.
Yep.
Thank you. Oh,
You're
like
amazing.
pulling
Wonderful.
teeth over here.
Actually, unrelated, Ahmed, you look good. Did you lose some weight?
I
or
was.
you
That's
shaved?
what I was saying. You looked really good.
Did I? I think it's just I have more hair on my face. Like Gary was
it?
saying.
Look distinguished.
I
is
mean,
what
that
you
I
mean.
didn't hear that.
Or like maybe you exfoliated.
I never
your
said such a thing.
skin.
Maybe you
No, no,
showered.
but it's probably just
Did
the
you say it?
lights. You know, magenta takes like 20 pounds off, right?
That's right.
true.
That's
Takes
right.
Well, maybe
That is
it's
that is
Myriad.
science.
I think I need a red because we got purple. Gary's got blue background. You guys sort of have a yellow glow, Erica. Joe, with kind of where you're at, you kind of got the gray. I feel
Yeah.
like I need more of a reddy.
It is weird that you're both in the same room,
You're a
yet the
little
tones
orange.
are quite different.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, it's because
Well-
there's a yellow light in front of you, and there's like a more of a white fluorescent light in front of you.
Well, we
Nobody's
have the
green.
same camera lights, but the light on Harlan's desk is got like a yellow
Yeah, I
lampshade
could see
on
it
it,
in the-
and
I
my
could see
light
it
is
in the-
like a
See
halogen
it
desk
in my
lamp.
glasses.
Ah, the lampshade itself is what's causing it.
Yes.
Ah,
You can
well, there
see
you
my
go.
light in my glasses, which I got a really great comment one time on YouTube.
Actually, I could solve this really easy. Philips
the hue?
A19. The A19 are
Altered?
the marked down ones because the hues are like
Sweet.
dumb expensive, but regular
Yeah.
bulb A19 is
I don't
like
actually
12
know what
bucks
you're
now.
talking about, but
Oh,
They're
I was about to
multicolored
explain.
lights.
words.
Yeah, the light behind the light that you're seeing is a light that changes colors with an app. It just
Oh yeah, we
it's a
have
bulb.
those. We actually have them all in our house.
You could just put it right in the exactly.
Ours
we
don't change
We're like
color.
a Google house now, and so when you say like,
That's
"Hey,
same.
look at new lights," they all go on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Henry loves it, except he still has got like the little kid speech. So sometimes he'll be like, "Google, turn on the lights in the living,"
No,
and
the
then he's
best
like
is he,
mad
like-
that Google's not paying
Like,
attention.
puts music, Henry, and he's like, "Hey Google," then he just waits, thinking. He's like,
I-
"Song do I want to play?" He's like, "Yes." He's like, "I,"
Yeah,
and
our
it's
pet
just like
AI.
a comedy of errors where they keep talking over each other, and he gets more and more frustrated.
Yeah, and the Google I found when it was personalized, it didn't listen to him as much. But when I generalized it, like I didn't let it do our individual voices, it listens better that way.
Yeah, we don't. We
Because
do.
clearly,
All
like
right.
it's like so goofy. Like if you add the accounts, like it has a harder time. It starts to think about who is that, and it starts to do its own. And it's like, get out of here! Just answer the question, stupid.
Do what we ask you to, Google, and do nothing
Exactly.
else.
See, I got overconfident with my French skills, so I thought I'll add 2 languages. I'll throw in English and I'll throw in French, which is fine until I very sleepily and unintentionally say something that I guess sounds French-ish. I got like a Franglish accent to it for some reason, and then it says something back to me in French, and I'm like, oh, I'm too tired for this. I don't. My confidence was way too high for what I'm experiencing right now, and every moment I regret it.
But the funniest part of that is you didn't even speak to it in French. You just spoke to it in English. And thought you were speaking.
Pop quiz, baby!
That's good.
So French is such a language that if you're like
Just garbled
tired
anything.
English, it's like you know it goes,
I want to go over there.
No, yeah.
fucking awesome. That's so funny. Yeah, I like them. I like these home app things. It makes life easier. Remember how life used to be? It sucked.
Fucking
was the
stand
worst.
up to flip on a
Everything was so
light
difficult.
switch. Ugh.
I like
I
walking
like-
into
I like
rooms
asking
just
her
being able to
questions.
yell at things to turn the lights on, but the only problem is that sometimes my internet will flake out, and every time it says, "Oh, sorry, that light's not on," I feel such like a shame in myself for relying on something to just turn a light switch on. I can do that myself, but the thought that I now have to reduce myself to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Every-
Yeah.
Do you ever get sass back from Google?
Yes.
Yeah,
You get really
There are
angry.
times I'll be like, "Hey Google, set an alarm," and it'll do it. I'm like, "Oh, hey Google, cancel that alarm." You can do that in the app. I know.
I love when it tells me it's sending an email about something and doesn't send anything. It's just like, I'm gonna send it to your phone. I'm like, great, but I never get anything.
I don't use the default voice. I use, I think, the blue voice or the green voice, but some nice giant, like gentle, calm little man's voice and the same phrases. So when there's one phrase when you say thank you to it, it'll say something like, "That's what I'm here for," in the fun little default girl voice. But in this voice, it says, "That's what I'm here for." And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. You didn't have to do it. I guess you're a program, but don't remind me of that power dynamic. I want to be your friend and your boss.
Every once in a while, I get that voice too. Like we have the girl voice, and then every once in a while, when I do something, I don't know what, it comes back with the dude voice of being like, "Okay," and it freaks me out. Because it's like 99% of the time, it's one voice, and then it's like, "Okay, Harlan." Oh my god.
It's sentient.
Yeah, for real. I mean, I'm not too worried about it. To me, there's some fucking, like, I swear we've had a conversation with the thing, where you're trying to get it to do one specific thing that's very easy. Or like you have to play a song and you like play this specific song and it's playing something completely different.
Mm-hmm.
That happens a lot, which I end up just laughing at.
And
but every once in a while,
describing what it's going to play, and as it's in mid-sentence of the thing that's wrong, you're like, "What? Just stop doing the thing you're going to do. Stop."
Yeah. Or like we're asking the question which it's clearly misinterprets, like what's a simple math question or whatever, or like set a timer for 10 minutes and it's like the capital of Panama is, and you're like, okay, stop.
Stop. And then you spend another like 10 seconds.
Yeah, and you're like, stop, Google, shut the fuck up. But I get so angry. But the funniest was Joe's
it's like an autistic,
mother,
it's like a genius, but it's all
Joe's parents were visiting us, and I asked the question and it said the wrong thing. I was like, Google, shut up. Because like it was saying the wrong thing, and she's like, "Don't tell it to shut up." I'm like, "It's a thing. What do you mean? Don't tell it to shut up."
When the machines rise up,
AI rights,
they'll remember.
That's actually a really good point, though. There's a thing that's on it. It's called the continue conversation.
They'll never forget anything.
I think a lot of people do have it, but I turned it on specifically because I wanted to finish by saying, "Oh, thank you, Google," like every time it's done. And for a while, it had a thing where it did like a little, "Oh, you're very welcome," sort of thing, and would do some lines like that. And then the other day, I said thank you, and it said, "I guess it's true what they say about Canadians being polite." I'm like, ooh, that was really nice as we go through our convoy in Ottawa. Other than that, was wonderful. I was so happy. I love that, the being rewarded for politeness thing.
Did you guys ever hear of GPT-3?
Oh yeah.
Too late. I don't even have googly eyes on it. Sorry, personified.
It's what AI Dungeon was based on, I think, wasn't it?
Wait, what?
GPT-3?
Oh, is that really?
Maybe
GPT-3 is a conversational AI with a face that you can like talk to and knows like 4 terabytes of like.
I remember that in the old days.
And like you could just talk to it and knows everything.
There was a robot I remember in like 10 years ago on the internet. Rupert?
A robot.
No, there was like a thing, and you'd ask questions and it would talk. It was like the internet's first. And I remember when I got really bored, I talked to it. No.
I went too far back to Bonzi Buddy, which is not correct.
Oh, I remember what you're talking about, Harlan. I've definitely spent a bunch of hours.
Yeah.
And supposedly it was like learning how to write back to you based on what you would say to it.
Oh yeah.
You would say like fart,
failed
and
the
then you
Turing
would
test
respond with like fart in some way. Because we were like what
the hell was
10
it?
years old.
I remember
8
that.
years old.
Yeah, there was something like that. But yeah. Anyway,
I think AI Dungeon's based on it. Fun game.
Or Skynet, because that's how you get Skynet.
That's such an Archer quote.
We already got Skynet.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
Keep going.
We're already there, man.
Skynet.
We just don't know it yet.
You guys are in trouble. I'm built different, so I'll be fine.
That's right. You're making
you
friends.
have robotic parts?
She's making friends with robots left, right, and center.
Yeah,
Literally built
polite.
different.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's metaphor.
I would say in our group, most likely to be an android is Erica, for sure.
It is
Probably.
true. I am suspicious.
Most likely to be like
android-like.
artificial life form.
Agreed.
And I will tell that to all the androids as they come up to my front doorstep, and hopefully they will accept me as one of their own.
You have what? What'd you say?
I will say that until the androids arrive at my doorstep, with the hope that they accept me as one of their own.
But do you have like an artificial part or something? Do you have like a hearing aid or something? Oh. You just
I
saying
have a vibe.
I don't
I
know.
have an artificial
I
vibe.
have a vibe.
She's
All-
most likely to be an android.
All of her
Yeah.
teeth are robots.
I
Just
mean,
small robots.
Individual ones.
Mhm.
It'd be pretty handy.
Yeah, for real. Like I don't know. Like people have artificial stuff all the
Yeah,
time.
like
I don't
fake
I don't
hips
have
and
my
whatever.
gallbladder. You know,
These
you would
two
know
teeth are-
That doesn't make you a robot, honey.
I might.
You don't know that. All I have to
Room for
do is
something
say to the
else.
robots, I have to say, look, I removed my humanity.
I
And then
don't
just need to
store
convince
bile
them
like
that
all of
my
these
humanity-
flesh bags.
Well, all I have to do is convince robots that humanity is bile, and that I removed my bile sac, and
Mhm.
therefore I
On bile
removed-
bags.
And I can do that. I've watched The Fifth Element. I can get the cell out of them. I know how to do that. So there we go.
I remember this short story. It was so well done. Sorry, just like really quickly. It was all about how there were a bunch of robots that were taking over the planet, and then everybody on the planet who could leave left, and then the people who were left behind were the people who were like in wheelchairs, had some sort of physical assistance, hearing loss, whatever else. The people who were cast aside, and all the robots who were taking over looked at them, scanned them, and said, "Oh, you're one of us. Got it." And actually brought them in. And then they basically restored the planet, saying,
That's
"Yeah,
insane.
you are above everything else. Like you've actually managed to transcend
Upgraded
you upgrade. That's the word I'm looking for. You've upgraded. Welcome aboard."
Mhm.
That was awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's the truth. We suck.
We're gonna get to that
Let's
7
all
point
let's all
eventually.
sign up
Speaking of
for.
the Toronto convoy,
Yeah.
I feel bad for Ottawa, though. It's so much worse.
Yeah.
It's
We
bad
got the
here.
injunction right
I've
now.
heard,
so 10 days
yeah.
of silence.
You don't have to say, but are you far enough away that you don't have to hear? Like,
I am.
Okay.
But
Good.
I have a lot of friends who are not. And they are not happy in the slightest.
No,
and they have
I
sent
am
lots of
so
videos.
Oh, yeah. I'd be
It
so
is.
fucking-
They told me that the honking before tended to die down at around midnight. That was
great.
the best way they could describe it. But it would pick up again at around like what? I think maybe 6 or something. Whatever else, maybe around earlier than that.
Sucks.
So it's the whole time to get to sleep, then to wake up again on somebody else's schedule at that time, as well as the fear that is going to start up again. And we're not talking like little quiet honks. We're talking like vuvuzela sounds.
Oh, yeah.
People
They're
have like
like,
full on
oh,
air
man.
horns, train
Yeah.
horns on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, they just walk out of you can hear it. It sounds
Yeah.
like a dryer. It's like,
Yeah.
And then he opens his balcony door and it's like everywhere in the city. It's
As
Really
a
physically
shit.
painful.
torture.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awful.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine. Trying
But
to
you know
sleep
what?
through that.
It's humanizing because every once in a while you come across people who are like, Canadians are so nice. It's like, nope. Canadians
Not all
can be
Canadians.
just as big a fucking asshole as anybody.
I like
Because-
all the Trump signs. Like, who do you think you're voting for?
Yeah.
What?
When people wearing the Canadian flag like Americans wear the American flag. You know how like you
Yeah.
see
Oh
Americans
man,
tie the flag around and you're kind of like, whatever.
that's just a daily occurrence.
Canadians doing that. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, you're so embarrassing. You're like, not only are you embarrassing, but you're embarrassing yourself in a way that's making you like at the teat of something else that's embarrassing. Like you're like a mockery of someone that's a mockery. Like, do you not realize how far away from the light you are now? Ugh.
I found something that was hilarious. It's the Trump signs are funny because it's like, okay, maybe you got hooked onto the brand for whatever reason. Like you got so swept up in that crazy QAnon stuff. Go for that. Then there's people with the swastika flags, and you're like, okay, you guys are straight
Yeah.
up Nazis. I get the swastika flags. And there's the people who have the Confederacy flags. And I'm like, I don't understand your logic. You are in Canada. You're not. It's not some little Trump hype brand. It's not a
Who
straight
are
up
you
Nazi flag.
Trying to
It is.
connect
It is.
with her.
What is the Confederacy flag meaning? Why are you bringing this into it?
Yeah, that's
So
insane.
fucking bad. So bullshit. Anyway, it's an
dear.
embarrassment. Fuck you, trucks.
Do better, everyone.
Yep. Enjoy your super spreading event, by the way. Have fun.
Yeah.
Enjoy the
You're all wearing
COVID.
your scarves.
Yeah.
Just like little thin bits of fabric. I'm
Yeah.
safe.
Can't do this in a store.
I saw a guy stocking shelves wearing a bandana around his face recently. I was like, man, it's been like 2 years. You haven't gotten yet?
It's just like
They're all over the place. Your store sells them. Like,
I'm sorry. That's the greatest thing.
come on.
it's like a fad.
It's been 2 years, man.
2 years of this. He's like, yeah, it's good.
Oh my god, that was great.
Anyway,
what are we doing here?
Hereafter, chapter.
Yeah!
Yeah!
Pew, pew, pew.
Do it.
Everyone has some liquids.
I have some liquids.
Liquid.
Erica
There we
has
go.
3. Let's do this.
I've been sipping them the whole time.
Okay, before
2
we go,
cups of
I
coffee.
want to know what's in the smoothie. It looks strawberry.
It's a pink one.
We have strawberry, we have banana, we have blueberries, we have blackberries, we have raspberries, we have pomegranates.
Very nice.
God,
And milk.
That's a delicious
Yogurt is a 10% Mediterranean yogurt, extra thick.
Ooh.
Is this like a bag, or are you make your own, like you're a?
So
You know,
I have
'cause
individual bags of frozen stuff, and I specifically ordered takeout from the little breakfast place because they give you oatmeal, and I like having plain oatmeal, but they give you a side of fruit. So I take the little fresh fruit and I keep that, and I shove it into a little thing, and then it
That's
mixes
clever.
up with all the frozen
You're
stuff.
an enigma. All right, let's do this.
Robot.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Robot.
Hereafter. Asora has seen darkness for close to 1,000 years. 6 months ago, the sun began to shine on this land once again. With it brought hope, opportunity, and prosperity for those willing to risk it all and carve a new path forward. However, it also brings death and distrust to those who don't respect this new land awakening from a long, dark slumber. On this night, after narrowly surviving the sudden onslaught of a number of creatures that descended upon your camp, you broke off to look within the nearby ruins, a dwarven monastery. Partially because you wanted to ensure that you would sleep the night safely, partially out of curiosity, for the ruins of this long-forgotten world hold many secrets. Secrets that just might answer a number of questions about what exactly happened to this tainted land. And so, you all walk in.
Still very hurt, if I remember correctly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Injured.
Very hurt.
Yes, because well, no pain, no gain.
No pain, no game. Yeah,
Okay.
you guys had a terribleness.
It was unavoidable, as I think we all agree.
Yeah, no one. to blame.
Unavoidable completely. No one's to blame here.
Thank you, Garrus.
I just actually very quickly need to check and see if what form
bleeding
I
to
am
death.
still currently in.
So the way I remember last time, I believe Kala and Sal decided to stay behind.
Oh yeah.
Yes, we did. I'm still in Wolf. I'm Wolf. That's what it was. I switched over to Wolf,
Wolf, there
and
it
now I'm
is.
letting
You're Wolf.
you three go, because it's you and the and Thomas, right? Tom Davis.
Robert Thompson.
Robert.
Robert Thomas.
Robert Thompson proved himself.
We found a little scroll thing, didn't we?
Yeah, you did. So it sort of ended with you guys approaching a pedestal which had a book laid open on it.
Book.
And I think Robert was the one that sort of brought your, eye to it. And I feel like there's a moment as you kind of make sure the area is clear that he walks over and brushes it and like holds the torch near it. Obviously, being a human, he can't see. And you see before you on this book, on one page is a picture. It's sort of etched in sort of a red ink. It's almost light, and you can't tell whether it's just because it's so faded with time, or it was meant to be that way. And there's sort of a nervousness to turn the pages because this book basically stayed this way for as long as the land was frozen with ice and then thawed, so turning the page might just destroy it. But on the page is depicted a temple that's high up in the clouds. And in the center of the highest peak of this temple, sort of like a bell tower almost, there's a bright light emanating from it. Large red ink streaks sort of jut out, and the thickest and strongest of which head straight up towards the sun. And all of the light sort of emanates down to the world below. And on the other page, there's writing. What languages do you speak, Garrus and Brea?
I speak Abyssal, Common, Infernal, Undercommon.
Hey, you're a learned boy. I only speak Common and Thieves Can't.
Cool. So this is actually written in Undercommon. So Robert sort of looks at it and says, I don't know what this says. And Brea, you give a glance and you're not too sure. Leaning forward, Garrus, you recognize the faded red lettering of that of the Undercommon. Basically, the common language is speaking to all folks that dwell below the earth. Okay. And the text sort of is written haphazardly. It's very clear that this is sort of a sacred tome of sorts. And similar to how, say, a Bible would have an obfuscated way to send its message, this sort of has that same feel. It's not exactly a story verbatim, but you read the page, and essentially the text says that there are golden chains that hold up the monastery, and that these chains are the very ones that the great spider made to ascend into the heavens, to steal a fiery star from the night sky and bring it back down to earth so that life could thrive.
Better not mean sunlight. Sunbeams.
Sunbeams, maybe, who knows? It goes on to say that the star resides in the temple at the top of a great suspended rock, where it reignites the sun every morning as it rises, brightening from the embers of dawn to the blazing sun of mid-morning. The light of the sun, ignited by this first fire, is what drove away the foul creatures of darkness that once feasted on humanity. Creatures like devils, demons, and witches. Chief among them was a witch known as the Raven Mocker. Taking the form of a giant bird and always preceded by a great unkindness of ravens, she vowed to return one day and plunge the world back into darkness. Or so the scripture before you says.
All right.
I know I'm not there, but I absolutely love the fact that it was a great unkindness of ravens, because that's a nice, gentle version of a murder.
Yeah,
That's so nice.
Which is a great unkindness.
Well, what are a group of ravens called?
Are they not the same as crows? A murder?
No, a group of ravens are called an unkindness.
Oh, is that actually what they're called?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That's
we
awesome.
have the tier. It's the murder crows, and then it's the unkind ravens. Okay, and then the blue jays just down there doing
And
their
the blue
COVID
jays.
thing.
The what?
A mincing of blue jays.
The losing Blue Jays. That's a joke for Toronto.
They're a despair of Blue Jays.
I don't watch baseball, but I get that they probably aren't the best, and that's a joke.
I thought they were pretty good.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
The Blue Jays?
Yeah.
They're in a very hard division. They have to go against the Yankees and the Red Sox. So
Thank you,
concludes
Aaron.
my
There are
knowledge of baseball.
divisions in baseball?
See, the enigma comes back.
I googled it with my brain. That's what
Sound
humans
effect.
call it, right?
Oh, you're muted, Ahmed.
Oh, your
There
wireless
we go.
connection is what I said.
That's
Yeah,
why
there you go. Yes.
the Omnitics were ignoring, and we're not. You just muted. So yeah, you learn this Garrus and you sort of repeat it, I think, almost verbatim to Brea.
Yeah. I kind of want to... and does it look like we can go deeper into this place?
No.
Oh,
As
no.
you towards the steps, you see that the under cavern has fallen. And oddly
Right.
enough, as you sort of give it a look, it doesn't seem like it's fallen naturally over time.
This looks like it was like sealed in by someone.
It's possible, yeah.
Can I tell how recently?
You can tell immediately without even rolling that this was long, long ago.
Hmm.
In fact, it looks for the most part that the creatures that you encountered, the red cat, were sort of using the top level of this as a base, but not for any great length of time.
Hmm.
Right.
Okay.
Is there any point in even doing a search of the place to be like, are there any more points of ingress or egress that we would like that would be dangerous if we stayed here?
I think it's always worth to do a search.
Give a quick
For the most part,
investigate.
yeah, I mean, you sort of have a layout of the entirety of the place. I don't think there's anything else that you are going to be seeing in terms of like new rooms. But why don't you give me a general perception roll? And Brea, you can do the same. And you know what? I'll let Robert do one because the other two players decided to sleep.
Yay!
I did not do great.
I'm getting
There we go.
really rested.
Some of us have indigestion. Harlan.
Natural 20.
Whoa!
Oh, Robert.
I got a 12.
24.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
Tell me all about these empty ruins with no other points of interest.
You find empty ruins. No other point of interest.
At least we know for sure this time.
No, you actually find something.
Oh.
Obviously. As you're making your way through the ruins, you come across a small, what looks to be a chest at the foot of a bed that might have been the quarters of maybe the head dwarf at this monastery.
Rock and roll.
It's sort of tucked neatly along the baseboard. And in fact, only with your natural 20 do you notice that this chest is sort of like not a trap, but a hidden. You push on it and it sort of pops out. It's built into the base of the bed.
Love that.
And you only notice it because it's sort of slightly crooked. And as you pop it out, dust sort of falls from the facade of this
Oh, dear goodness gracious.
to find a gorgeous silk handkerchief that is embroidered. You additionally see, and it has the embroidery of sort of a spider. The only reason you can tell it's a spider is because one of the depictions on the temple on the page in the previous room sort of has this abstract depiction of a spider.
Mm. Okay.
You also see a small mirror set in a little wooden frame. It's sort of like a hand mirror or a pocket mirror. And a gold locket with a painted portrait inside of a young dwarven girl. Additionally, tucked up next to it, you see a thin vial of red liquid that you would know to be a potion of healing.
Ooh, nice.
And finally, draped across the handkerchief, as you go to pick it up, you see a necklace. And as you pick it up, it emanates magic.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Love that.
The attention to
identify
detail
doing?
there,
I mean,
nicely done.
I'm just putting everything into my bag, and then I
Stealing
come
it.
to this
Hiding it
necklace
from
and I
Sal.
say, Garrus, what is this? I hold it out to you, Garrus.
He'll make sure that its glove is like a glove. I'm like, don't sure I've seen its like before. Does have a bit of a hum of magic of it, doesn't it?
It does.
Give me a roll, Arcana.
Oh dear. Yeah, that's a 7. He'll be like very shiny.
You know what? Actually, give me a history roll. And it's funny because I was considering this anyway, but do history.
Same modifier, different roll, a lot more luck. 14. That's not great.
That's good. I think this is something that you've actually seen before.
Ooh.
This is a rare magical item, but it's more common in your circle, I think. I imagine on the battlefield many, many years ago, you saw some of the frontline warriors, specifically maybe spear throwers, sometimes wearing these or the used version of what this is, which is a necklace of fireballs.
Oh my god.
So this necklace has, let's roll, 6 beads hanging from it. And you recognize the sort of band that they're attached to. Like, again, in the field, sometimes they would take these off of like fallen mages and wear them almost like heirlooms. But you can basically use an action to detach one of these 6 beads and throw it up to 60 feet away. And then when it lands, it detonates as a 3rd level fireball spell with a spell save DC of 15.
And is it finite, or do the beads like grow back out
It
of
is
it?
finite, unfortunately.
No, it's 6. That's it. They're
Yeah.
grenades.
You can hurl multiple beads or even the whole necklace as an action if you want. And then you just increase the level of fireball by 1 for each bead beyond the first. So if you threw the entire one, it would be
That's awesome.
5 levels higher.
It would be
It
a waste.
would be 8 level
Is what it would
fireball.
be.
I love it.
Yeah, Gareth will
Be a
just tell
waste.
Brad that and be like, "Might be useful for you. I don't really hit things, so."
Thank you. She tucks
my
it around
shield.
her neck.
Is
That's
that like
wonderful.
you missed? You're always missing. Is that why you said that?
No.
I
I got my
I
shield.
appreciate that. Thank you, Gareth.
No problem at all. I think it's probably safe enough to camp here. Do you think?
From my
Certainly
estimation,
warmer.
I think we'll be fine here. Should we go back and get the others?
Yes. Yeah, we've searched this place to completion.
At this point, you've... What the fuck is that from?
I don't know.
It's
I
always
just said
sunny. Always
just
sunny.
said to completion in a creepy way, probably from lots of things.
Have you seen it? You've watched It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, right?
Is that a Dennis line?
It's a Dennis.
I've not seen it a lot, but yeah, I can
Oh,
imagine it being in that show.
I know there's a line where he's like, to completion. We just watched something. Anyway, whatever. That's awesome.
Reminds me
Yeah.
of your impression. Then reminded me of Chris Hemsworth in the movie with the skater, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. He played this,
Chris
skater
Evans.
boyfriend.
The
Oh,
other
what did I say? What did I say? I said
Hemsworth.
Hemsworth. Yeah,
They're all
There's so
handsome
many.
Chris's.
yeah, the
Chris
handsome
Pratt.
Chris
Wait, Pat? Platt?
Pratt.
Pratt's,
Yeah.
Pratfall. Yeah, so you head back to camp?
Yeah, we go back. We get him.
Yeah.
Wake up everybody. Bring him back. Right?
I don't know. What is it?
I think so, yeah.
Say?
So, yeah, are you regaling us with the events of this?
Tell you everything.
Okay, guys. So we went to the ruins. There's no more of those creatures, thankfully. And we found this book. Garrus. What did it say? I don't remember. It's something
Oh,
about
it
a
said-
spider queen and a...
Yeah, Spider Queen stole a star, brought the star back down. The star ignites the sun, but and it drives away the demons, one of which was a witch called the Raven Mocker, who was going to come back and destroy the world. Or cover it in darkness again, or something like that. Either way, this witch is bad news. But the
When?
I don't think it said when in my chicken
No,
scratch
but
notes.
so again, to put it in context, because I know we're playing with a lot of timelines, is that this book existed before the Long Night.
Yes.
And this monastery presumably stood 1,000 years ago. And this book talks about how the spider, which is a sort of a deity that it seems now that you've heard a few times because it was also referenced in the first temple you saw, that the dwarves are perhaps the people of this land just worshipped. It allowed the sun to be here and more or less has allowed the sun to be here forevermore. However, it speaks of something, a witch called the Raven Mocker, who wishes to steal the sun. Now, from what you know, context clues wise, you can sort of piece together that perhaps she succeeded. However, the sun came back. So there was obviously some struggle that got it back on track. This is context.
But that would be the interesting part of it, because if there was something to say that this was an endless cycle of the Raven Mocker versus the spider over and over again, if there was a clue saying this is the first sign of when the Raven Mockers return, that would be pretty useful information given all.
Well, yes. It's the birds, right? The
Unkindness
ravens.
of ravens.
Preceded by a great unkindness of Raven. ravens.
I mean, we've seen locusts, but not ravens. So I think we're fine for now. Anyway, check out this cool necklace.
That is a cool necklace.
Thank
And
you.
Sal will consider you even for that ambrosia cut gem.
We're even now, right?
Perhaps.
Priceless gem.
We'll talk.
I like that Sal keeps bringing it up. Like we
Take
could
it.
naturally forget it, but Sal's like, "Oh, what about the gem that we're even?" Yes, I completely
I
forgot.
Doesn't want to be rude. He doesn't want to sow any bad feelings, so he'll just keep poking at it until everyone's happy again. That's how that
Anyway,
works.
it seems like if we're concerned about defensible positions, it's better that we would hang out in the ruins. Kala's fast asleep though, so I don't want to wake her up. She seems to. Is she asleep?
Come back to bed, Thompson.
He sort of just like looks at Brea and like Gareth and be like, and then like defeatedly walks over.
You know what? Maybe we'll
Guess
just.
I
sleep
got
here.
her.
I don't want to wake her up.
I pat him on the chest when he lays down. Good work earlier.
Thank you.
Well, that is actually interesting because when Kala does wake up, I would love to hear what she thinks about that shining star that allows things to happen. Because I know they described the sun, but I believe that even 1,000 years ago, everyone would have known what the sun was and would have called it that. But Kala's, you're looking for that special gem, that jewel, that I'm not misremembering that, right? That's what she was here looking for? Like a star of her own? Something like that?
I have to look at my notes. Because you're remembering something that's like... whoa.
From, like, I don't know where that came from, but, like, it was back in there.
Don't know.
Flower.
That's
It was a
very
flower. It
possible.
was a flower.
Yes, correct. Yes,
Okay.
that is correct. Yeah, correct.
So maybe it's not the same thing as a star, but a star could be a flower. I mean,
Could be.
metaphorically.
A flower-shaped star. Regardless, Brea curls up and falls asleep, desperately in need of some HP.
I suppose I'll take first watch then for doing watches.
You're almost dying, though, aren't you?
Well,
Like,
I don't know,
You're
I
like
mean-
at 3, right?
I'm
Do we
at
need to- do we
12.
need to consider
Make
a role
people
play?
attack you again. That's not fair.
Okay, well, that's fine then. You can
Everyone,
you can
roll
take
for
first watch.
initiative.
Yeah.
Roll for initiative?
That's kidding. I'm just being a silly goose.
We guessed wrong again.
Can we long rest officially?
Yes.
Yay!
Yay!
Thank you.
Thank you, DM.
While you're sleeping, you're
You die.
greeted
Daddy.
with a warm dream.
Ooh.
Bright, colorful clouds, beautiful blue sky, fields of wheat, the likes of which you had never seen.
Sticky purple?
No.
Oh.
These are reminiscent of the ones that you left behind. And perhaps even more full of life than previous. You see a long crevasse, stone wall on either side, a valley of sorts, and a waterfall at the end, and yet you feel completely at peace before you wake up to greet the cold gray light of dawn into Sora. It's interesting too, while most of you haven't talked much about where you came from in terms of the lands back home, you know the problems that existed there are still more or less going on. It was not a perfect, idealistic world that you left. In fact, you remember leaving behind a number of issues that existed, especially in Tebia, which is where the Crown Shore exists, Garrus. Obviously, war was a detriment to many of the people across the land, but the population was growing ever steadier, and people were wanting more. The reach of the crown down towards the Iron Haven ended up almost becoming palpable. in the fact that there just wasn't enough room for everyone to get along. It might have factored into part of the reason why you came here. Who knows? But yes, regardless, you wake up. Robert Thompson rolls out of your arms. Kala stokes the fire, throws on a few wet logs, goes off and pinches one, comes back,
Unusual.
throws it on the fire.
Off.
Now we're all awake.
And I bury it.
Are you burying
I don't want
it
anybody-
enough from water?
Well, yeah, I don't want anybody to, follow us because of my poop.
We all take a nice poop.
I think that's only fair. Solidarity.
Yeah,
It's
everyone
team
walks
building.
off and does
Okay, I dig a bigger hole.
Thanks, Paula.
Just kidding.
Everyone's just sitting back to back.
Freya's digestive system is a disaster, by the way.
Tiefling
Yeah.
child,
Yeah.
gigantic.
Some
Like
of us have
she has
indigestion.
hair coming out.
Yeah. What are they called? Beazar or whatever? Like a big hair lump in your
It's like
stomach.
an owl pellet mixed with.
Yeah, I'm picturing black tar as well. Anyway.
Well, that's gross.
Yeah.
I think that's delicious. Without breakfast.
That's true. But anyway, yeah. So you all wake up.
Hmm.
Robert sort of greets you all. You
I'm
sleep
pleased
all
to see
right?
he hasn't run away,
Yeah.
You didn't have the option to.
which I am aware of, but still, he didn't try it, which I appreciate.
True.
Robert, thank you, by the way, for
Yes.
your efforts last night. I wasn't expecting quite the bravery that you possessed. So it's possible that I underestimated you.
And he sort of looks away and off into the woods, and he's like, "I was just like, if I didn't help you, then I would have just been dead." So,
And she goes over to him and she puts an arm around his shoulders and she's like, yeah, that might be true, but I suspect there's something more to it than that.
he's like, "No, you're."
Have you ever wielded a sword before? Ever stabbed anyone?
No.
Well,
Really?
I
did
suppose
very
I should
well.
ask you how you're feeling then.
I feel fine that we're alive. Look, I came here because of the commerce. I'm a trader. I'm a merchant. I'm not a fighter. Okay, I did what was.
You made
best.
your first kill, Thompson. And Parfin tradition, you now have earned the sword. The short sword is
Now
yours
my-
now. Take care of it. Sharpen it and make sure it is oiled.
I believe
awesome.
Garrus did a little switcheroo on.
What are you talking about, Sal?
You
Yeah.
earned that dagger.
When
That
Call's
you
back
always
is
had.
turned, Gareth will be like, "The dagger, give me the fucking dagger. This is your fucking sword. Take it."
That's awesome.
Gala, yes. Yes, there you go, Robert. Your sword now.
Oh, because you took it from. Garrett?
Yeah,
He
yeah.
did.
Yeah, I took it from the last
traded.
fight.
Handed him the.
Gareth likes his
Yeah,
dagger
like-
anyway. He's like,
No,
respect.
he's like, don't worry about it. And he like walks over to like one of the dead red caps, and he like kicks it over, and he grabs the scythe, and he's like, "Oh, I'll just use this for now."
Ah.
Brea's actually really curious now that he's kind of, I guess, reminded her that there are these corpses of these creatures sitting around. And she
Ah.
goes over and she like checks out the boots, these little boots. They're like iron, right?
Yeah, they
Super
are.
heavy.
Yeah, they're like these massive iron-looking boots, like made
But
of
they're
Shit.
small. Because they're dwarves, right? So they're
Compared to like their body, right? They're massive, is what you
like.
mean.
Right.
I'm picturing
Makes-
standard
makes
human or
I
even
just can't
orc
fit
size.
will my foot fit in
boots?
it?
Is the
You can
whole
try to take it
boot
off.
iron?
Yeah, I want to take it
Or is
off.
there a bit at
Yeah,
the
you
front?
can.
Oh,
Ooh.
they're like welded on.
Oh.
You like try to find the seam. You like look down and you realize
Oh,
that
don't take that off.
you realize that there's like a flap of skin that's separated before the boot, and as you like peel it back, you see that it just like the flesh and the bone sort of fuses into metal.
That's like in Disco Elysium when you try to pull the boots off and the leg comes
But
with.
it's less so that they're just like wearing these boots, but more it seems like these boots are part of them.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I do love it in a horrifying way. It's wonderful and vivid.
We found our androids. Or,
Did you say that they have like beards and shit? Like standard kind of gnomey facial hair and stuff?
They do
Yeah.
have the soaked hoods, which, as we established,
It is.
Sal is on the hunt for the source of the
Yeah.
blood that was soaking those hoods.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Oh yeah, and we asked about the pin on the hat. That's right.
Yes, and
Anyway.
that was the
No, that's the lion's head.
pin.
The lion's head, yeah.
Brea takes a little piece of the mustache hair.
Cool.
And she
Ah!
waits until no one's looking and she just pops it in her mouth.
Oh, you ate it. You ate it.
Like an anxious tick. You're like ripping off your eyebrows.
I decided that my stomach is my component pouch for any spell casting that I
It's
do.
actually
So
very
Nice.
smart. I like that.
gather stuff,
I like that.
I have
but
a
it's
question.
unfortunate.
I have an answer.
How many red cat corpses are there?
4.
Can we, leveraging that, I was at work today, can we each grab the lion's head pins from their caps?
Oh yeah.
Only one was wearing it actually.
Dang.
It doesn't seem like it's part of their uniform necessarily. And we sort of covered this last time. It
Yeah.
doesn't look like the lion's head were like, these are yours. It looks more like one of them got one and used it maybe as a point of pride.
I'd still like to take it because maybe we can,
Oh yeah,
explore.
I think you guys already did take it, didn't you?
No, I think we noticed it, but I don't think anyone
Mm,
specifically
right.
took it. I would like to take it and maybe find a way to copy it.
Are
Okay.
the scythes better than daggers as weapons? Mechanically?
Are the scythes better than daggers? Mechanically, yes.
Garrus will take one,
Okay.
sling it at his side.
Yeah, I think it's. Let me see. Yeah, they're better, but not by much. It's 2d4 plus 4.
Better than the dagger.
Dagger's only
2d4.
1d4.
Yeah.
Are they two?
I go to Thompson. I'm like, do you reject my gift?
Sorry, not
And I
plus
look
4.
at his
It's 2d4 and then plus whatever you have.
Yeah, 2. Sweet.
Someone
I'm sorry, Calla, what did you say to Thompson?
Oh, I said, do you regret my gift? And I point at the scythe.
He's like, no, it just seemed like you were giving something that maybe wasn't yours. He's like, if you want me to take it, I'll take it. But my understanding was that you were giving me something that wasn't yours. Should I take it? And he drops the scythe and he takes the short sword. He's like, you know what? This is fine. This is great. I'll keep this. Thank you.
It's like a whole thing that Kala.
Calla turns around, and as she's walking away, she says, you chose well, Thompson.
And he's like, yeah, and he like looks at the sword and then he like tries to rub it on his shirt, like oil it a little bit.
Cute. We'll make a soldier out of him. I don't even know if we like this guy, but
I'm very, very disinclined. To
Bleed
kill him.
together, you know.
Very, very
Okay, we can do that.
disappointed
We can do that.
it's still mildly
I'm
said.
very, very.
Keep my options open.
I'm good with it. I'm
I-
not attached.
I want to like kick some of the ashy soil over our fire, our breakfast fire, and get ready to go.
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
get some fucking ash.
And
Can
do
I,
it.
can I survival to make it more hidden or something? I feel like I
Great
would
call.
do that.
Yeah, give me a survival roll.
I feel like she would just instinctively know something like that. 18.
Yeah, then you do instinctively do that. Tell us what you do.
Well, I look over the, I notice that there's a berm, and I take the material and I put it so it's somebody who's walking won't see it clearly unless they go over it,
Cool. Yeah, perfect. It's hidden. Well hidden. All right. And I suppose you all start heading.
Yeah, same direction as we were
East.
going before.
Yeah.
Vaguely.
Yeah.
You pack up camp.
Vaguely
It seems
east.
like you were never there, and you begin heading east. You move through the forest for a number of hours. The stark, cold trees sort of warming up with the day's sun as it cuts through the sky. The forest itself feels like the personification of something reawakening from a long slumber. This isn't the first time you experienced this. When you first landed on the shore, you sort of saw signs of the world wakening back up. But as you move deeper in, you see something that you had yet to see here. A sprout, a number of them. Under a pale tree, you see a sea of small, dark blue sprouts begin to stick up from the long fallen leaves. and it catches your eye. Sal.
Have we seen these before? Do they?
No,
This is a new blue.
correct.
Okay, I would very much like to go up to this and see if I can tell what it's supposed to be, tell what it is, flower, tree, bramble, whatever.
Yeah. Give me a nature roll.
All right, let's find out. Well, it's a 10.
Okay. So you don't know much. You do know, as you're sort of looking at the small bud, that it's most reminiscent of a sort of a vascular plant.
Okay.
Similar to, like, you know how like a fern or like a lady fern has like a number of pipes that sort of sit short on the ground.
Yep.
It sort of seems to have similar tissue that would signify that. That's as much as you can tell from a bud.
Okay, so if there's enough there, I'm going to see if I can start picking some of them. Eating
Okay.
one to see how it goes.
Okay.
And then the others I'm going to kind of put in a pouch to keep or not, depending on how I feel and or die.
Cool. Yeah, you pick up a small blue bud of an unknown plant and you eat it.
Mhm.
And your tongue begins to go numb. At first you sort of think that maybe it's just very salty or something. You can't quite get the taste until you realize that the numbness is just a severe reaction to the overwhelming heat that you are feeling. Immediately your eyes begin to water and the backs of your ears begin to sort of shoot pain over your neck. Sweat starts blooming on your brow. And the three of you are watching Sal.
Yeah, no, I look at Sal, and then I look at the plant, and then I look at Sal, and I look at the plant, and then I grab one and eat it.
I love that we're like, these are the first sprouts in this new land, the new sign of growth. Let's pick and eat them all.
Yeah. Okay,
Not
so
all,
Kala,
sample.
watching Sal do this, also eats one. And Kala, you feel the same overwhelming feeling come across you. This
This is
this
important.
numbness that turns into pain.
I'd like to see if we have the same reaction. That would be incredible.
Yeah, you each take 18 poison damage.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Fair.
Shit.
Hey.
Yeah.
Is
Oh,
anybody
no.
aware if this is ongoing in some way?
Yeah, you can roll maybe a medicine check on yourself.
That's amazing.
Oh no.
I cast.
Oh,
I cast.
22.
22.
What if he poisoned
Yeah.
me with?
Okay, yeah, no, you seem like it's kind of a one and done type thing.
Fantastic.
Doesn't seem like it has any ongoing effects.
Okay.
But you do seem like you're. But you do see like you're poisoned. Like this is sort of like it's not going to be repeating.
That was no joke. That was no
Yeah.
joke.
But you feel like
Shit.
All right,
you feel
I'm gonna
like it's
cast.
at least going to take maybe 2 hours to get out of your system.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
perfect.
frowning the whole time now. Whoa,
No.
whoa. And
If
also,
there-
I cast Goodberry twice. I cast one for Erica and for me, 10 Goodberries each.
Well, your lips like
Kinda like-
swell a little bit too. Like
Yeah, I'm kind of like
Other
sadly
question.
eating them.
yeah, so
Lesser restoration on myself.
Yeah.
Can I do that?
sure. I don't know what is less of
touch
restoration.
a creature.
Yeah, but it's you're no longer.
It only
You don't
removes
have
the.
a poison condition. You
Okay.
just
You
So I
were
don't need to
just
worry about it
poisoned.
anymore.
You
You're
took
We're
poison.
good.
Yeah, we're not afflicted.
Rhea turns to Garrus and she's like, I'm not. I don't think I will. I'm not going to try one of those.
I'm not going to partake either. He'll
No.
he'll pat both your shoulders and you get the other 8 hit points back.
Oh,
Thank you. Yay.
cute family.
Thank you.
Don't get hurt again.
We're all just like,
hard plants.
Can I just before I ask, this is absolutely wonderful. How many of the buds do I get?
Do you want to continue touching them? Because you also notice that your like fingers are starting to burn.
If I
Like,
notice
part
my
of the reason-
fingers, then I want to get little gloves on. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Don't
So
touch your eyes.
so if you start like
oh
being
boy.
smart about it, I mean, you can get as many as you want if people are willing to wait like an hour or two for you to like get.
Dig them
all
out of the
these.
earth and shit.
I mean, we'll be reasonable about this. All right, I'll roll. I don't know.
How many
no,
babies?
I think I could make this
Give you-
easier.
Oh, you know what? I rolled
Poison
2d6 and I rolled 6.
I pull out my hatchet.
Yeah.
Oh, you already did it. Never mind.
Yeah. So you have 12. You got 12 of these, and you've wasted an hour or two. Well, not wasted.
Good.
You
Those are gonna come in handy.
Thank you.
Totally come in handy, assuming that their properties stay consistent and they don't need to like continue growing or staying alive to be useful.
I'll find out as I go along.
I picture Bray is starting to kind of bug Robert a little bit.
Like
because
Robert's getting bothered.
we've got like 2
No,
hours
she's just
to spend while
gross,
Sal and
right?
Kala are like messing around with
Yeah.
these things.
Yeah.
She's just like asking him annoying questions a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't think he's annoyed by it. I
Oh,
think
really?
like
yeah.
what? Like what?
She's
we
like,
go.
so you were on a ship for a while, right?
Yeah.
So what was that like?
I think he answers all your questions.
She's like getting to know him.
Yeah. I think he's just kind of like
I
came
figured
over
he wouldn't
because
give
of
her
it.
the time of day.
No. He's not as like angry at you guys. I think that's all kind of past now.
That's fair.
The main issue, because he was pretty forthcoming from the beginning, the main issue is you guys had an issue with him. You were like, we don't trust you, we don't like you. And he was like, well, like, and then it kind of erupted when you called him
Selfish.
and he was like, how am I any different than you?
Yeah.
So by you then turning to him asking about him, it's sort of giving him a chance to show you that he's kind of no different than you. And
Yeah.
honestly, as the story unravels, you realize he's not really that different than you. He came over here because he was trying to get away from something that he sort of obfuscates, but you don't get the impression it's anything sinister.
Hmm.
He came here because he wanted a fresh start and that he wanted to trade, and that an opportunity fell in his lap that basically some guy was like, hey, if you lend me a stick of dynamite, we can split gold that no one's touching.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was Davis Straught that was on the ship. For
Correct.
A while.
Well, Robert came over on a ship,
Yeah,
as everyone did. But Davis Straught was the one who came over on a ship and had such an issue with them that he sort of was left behind.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what I
Robert
do.
is sort of just honestly, his story is probably more innocent than the four of you. I mean, your story started off by stealing a map from other people.
He doesn't know
And
that.
then,
Yes,
I
it
know.
did.
I'm just saying, in terms of like your story, as you're like hearing his, you're sort of realizing that between
Totally.
the two of you, you have more, cause to be a suspect than even him.
Yeah, man, I'm a thief.
I have been
Cool.
poisoned and survived.
So he answers all your questions. Yeah.
We're good.
And at the end of it, he's just kind of like, and what I'm going to do now, I don't know.
We'll figure it out. We're on our way to the Lion's Head, so
Yeah, and there's like a moment he's like, yeah, I don't know. Look, if I go back to Magellan, I'm exiled. So my chances are here. And if that doesn't work, I don't know. I guess the next ship back home.
But listen, man, we got some pull with Magellan. We could probably, if that's where you want to be, we could talk to her about it, at least.
And you could always lie.
Lying got me into this. The truth is, when that little rat Davis came to me, I probably should have went to Magellan. At the very least, we could have blown it open, and if there was anything in there, we could have gotten a fair share for the people and a fair share for me. And he sort of looks at the bag of gold that he's been touting for you guys as well, the one that you've agreed to split. And you can tell he's sort of struck with like indecision. And then he looks towards the east, towards the direction you're heading. Well,
Can I roll
look-
insight on him?
Yeah, go for it.
Natural 20.
Whoa!
You are like, oh my goodness, bro.
This is the dice I was rolling for your episode with Doran as
know,
well.
you did
This
so well.
this orange dice, I think it might be weighted. I think I rolled 3 20s in a row that day. That was
Yeah.
last
Keep
month.
that die.
Wow. Yeah, you can tell that the fight last night shook him up. He realizes it wasn't so much like, oh my god, I could die. It was kind of like, oh my god, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like why am I out here when all I have to do is but again, he's sort of faced with this. Look, if I go back and I admit my crimes, I'm exiled. So why not just leave with my money and sort of leave it at that? So he's sort of struck with indecision, and he's starting to worry about what this next chapter brings if the King's Head doesn't accept him.
We'll figure it all out.
Yeah, it's easy for you to say. The four of you are obviously much more capable than myself. If they decide not to take me in, I don't really have a place to go.
No, man. Like, Why do you think any of us came over here in the first place? I mean, speaking for myself, I come from a world where I'm turning into something that everyone hates. I am likely to be just as outcast as you are in some time. I think that maybe we should stick together.
I have also been exiled from my family, Thompson.
Really? Kala, I didn't know that. Are you sure that's not just the sprouts talking?
My mouth is hot, but my heart is true.
What happened?
Falling out with my family. They did not like that a woman could succeed as a man does, and they decided to send me on this quest to find an extinct flower, and so now I'm wandering aimlessly, but now I'm with you all, and so maybe not so aimless. So see, Thompson, you are with a band of exiles.
I'm not excited.
Hell yeah.
My friends love me.
Sal, no one asked you.
Look at your gem.
Literally
Look
no
at
one.
your gem.
Go get your fucking gem.
Gareth?
Ahmed, I want to give you inspiration
Yeah,
for that. That was
yeah.
a great.
Thank you. I will take it.
Freya gives you a little side hug, even though she
Sal, I
knows you're
wanna
probably
take
not the
inspiration
hugging
away
type.
from- no, I'm kidding. Oh, I didn't mention that. I can also now take it back. Yeah, Robert sort of nods and he's like, you can tell there's like a little bit of an embarrassed to be happy feeling on his face, and he kind of tries to hide it. And he's like, "Well, we'll see how we feel when we get to the lion's head."
Well, let's go. I think these guys are about done. Are you guys done?
I have the flowers that I hope are not the rare ones Carlo's looking for, because I'm not partying with these.
Yeah, and as you pick them all up and each one dies, losing its potency, you feel I'm just kidding.
Instantly.
I mean, they'll definitely be on a clock, but maybe they'll get spicier when.
Well,
they're
yeah,
dead,
when
who
you
knows?
dry peppers, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
totally. Or when a jalapeno's rotten. Nothing spicier than a rotten jalapeno. Where'd you go?
What? Oh,
Just left.
shit.
She was
Joe gone.
offended
Hear her.
that you
Yeah, we can still
overrode
hear
her.
her. Just through my
Don't
mic.
worry.
I know.
I'm coming
That was-
back.
She's turned invisible.
It's the other
She had
property
the
of the
one
buds.
ring. She had the Frodo ring.
Sorry,
Oh,
guys.
I think I just remembered. I think if you hit the numbers, you can do the focus with the numbers on the keyboard now.
No way. Can you?
I think
You
so.
can't. The F's? Oops. Nope. That's Chrome Help.
Is it the F keys? No, I'm pretty.
Take a brief.
I'll when I
Text
remember,
support.
I'll text you with
Tell
the
me,
Text
because I would love
support.
to be more directorial.
Maybe it's command numbers. I'm
don't
pretty
know. Either
sure
way.
that there's a way to do it. Anyway, sorry.
Either way, you all begin heading east. The day continues on until the afternoon. I imagine you sort of all stopping, having a bit of a lunch. Maybe I can see Kala slicing off the thinnest piece of the spicy bud and dropping it in tea and drinking it and only getting a bit of poison damage, but also kind of getting a nice spice on from it.
Totally.
This is why this is so appropriate. It
It's
covers
a light
all
poisoning.
of my wonderful friends, wonderful, dear, loving me very deeply friends' professions.
And there is a bit of a joy that sweeps over you each. And for the first time since arriving, now that you're away from Hythe and sort of escaping the city in a way, you could have gone back, but you've sort of decided to forge your own path. You sort of feel for the first time like you're actually taking in what Asora was meant to do for you, There's been too much of coming to another city and dealing with another person in charge and dealing with another set of problems. And now that you've cut your own path, you're each starting to realize that this is what you'd been yearning for and that this is what you had come here for. And in that, I feel like the whole party itself, it feels more elated. There's more camaraderie. There's more working together on it. And soon as the afternoon sun still hangs pretty high in the sky, you come across a chasm. It's very wide. As you know from the map, there are cracks in this earth, perhaps from where lakes that once existed froze and split and then evaporated or fell through the earth. This chasm is sort of on a path that you have been following, one that more or less seems to start dictating that you are going in the right direction. Small signs, broken branches, as if something had moved this way. And it looks as though at one point, not long ago, a makeshift bridge was stretching across this gorge to the far side. But for now, it seems to have once again fallen. And I sort of picture you all, maybe looking at the gorge and then heading back, 30 feet to sort of talk about it. And again, you sort of see the forest continue on the other side. You see the edge of this chasm falls down into just darkness. It doesn't seem to be ever ending, but the light doesn't exactly show how far the bottom is in terms of a way that you can judge. And it's navigable, but we're talking about kilometers or miles and miles on either side. This seems like a bridge was constructed here, perhaps by the Lionhead, to serve as a way across. But again, it looks like they felled a number of trees, stretched them across after stripping them, and then over time, perhaps rain just sort of brought the edge of the gorge down so that it would fall down.
So it's not fixable?
Doesn't look like the bridge that was there is fixable, no. And as you look over,
how deep is the
yeah, as you look over, it seems to be maybe 1,000 feet.
What?
1,000 feet across?
No,
1,000
deep.
feet down.
Oh,
that's like
Very
a mile. That's like close to a
I was
mile.
gonna say.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
got
just
a
looking at my
mountain
character
range,
sheet here. I have feather token. Did we decide what it looked like?
Yeah, wasn't it a boat?
It was a tree.
Yeah, we got this. We plant the tree,
Wait,
we chop
what?
it down, and then we cross over.
What?
Right?
Say it so they understand, because they don't understand what
All right.
feather token is.
Brea,
Can you plant the tree
climb-
sideways and just
Yeah, let it grow out.
Brea climbs into the bag of holding halfway, like her upper body disappears and she's rooting around in it. You hear like jingle of change as she's like digging through stuff, and she reemerges with this feather token that's shaped like a tree, and she's like, this will do the trick. See, what we have to do is plant it, and then it will grow, and then all we have to do is chop it down and use the wood, or yeah, we can totally just plant it in the side and it'll grow all the way across. Right?
I wouldn't plant it in the side. I think planting it up and chopping it makes sense. And Robert's sort of like excitedly
I'm not an
interested
engineer,
in his
Robert.
product. No, he's like, yeah, I think that's brilliant.
Neither is Robert.
Yeah, he's like, I'm no engineer either. I just
But that sounds good. Sounds good.
Khaled, I
Yeah,
I've
no,
never
yeah, no.
tree
Grow
before.
it.
Do you think-
I think the
How
GM gave us
tall?
a wink. So let's do it. Let's do it that way. Like,
But
grow
what
it
I'm trying
up
to say
and then-
is
Can I just say genuinely, no. I totally forgot about the fucking
Yay!
feather token. I 100% forgot. I kind of thought of ways that you could get across, none story-wise, just sort of role-playing wise. 1,000% I forgot that I gave you that, and that is absolutely something that would work. If
Okay,
you
then
do
we're
it.
good. If
If
you'd
you
like to
do it.
use it.
what I'm trying to say is, Kala, if I was left to my own devices, it would take me 5 days to cut down this tree. Are you?
No, I have an axe.
Well, perfect.
I have.
Oh!
That's perfect. That's the
It's
ideal
a 5-foot
thing.
diameter trunk, so it's
It's pretty hefty.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm
take a
pretty
bit of time,
strong.
not much.
So I hold out the feather token with just a little bit of gravitas.
Yeah, and silence washes over everybody. It's like
And
that scene in Fifth Element where they're lighting the last one.
I
Yeah.
slowly bend down and I drop it to the earth and then spring back.
And immediately a 60-foot tall tree with a 40-foot top diameter just emerges instantaneously. And Robert, with like wide eyes, is like, holy fuck. And this tree is sort of now just sitting on the edge of this crevasse. Great job.
Thank you.
Wait, there's a sound effect to it.
I think it's kind of sad that we could have planted this tree and like started a grove of oak trees, but we're like immediately gonna cut it down and destroy it.
What I did with the
I
buds.
start working
First
right away.
bird of life.
Also,
Yeah,
this is a
Kala, you
magical
start-
weapon, so it's probably going to cut through it pretty buttery. You know, I do a
Yeah, it's not
wedge on
bad.
the
I mean-
the side that it's going to fall, and then I do
think it's
another
still
wedge
gonna
on the
take,
other
like-
side, and I kick it down.
Yeah, it's still gonna take like half an hour. Like you're kind of chopping there.
Yeah, okay.
It's like, everyone's kind of sitting around talking.
I like bring you your canteen of water like halfway through, so you can just like put all of your.
Yeah.
I
Well, this
have
is
two
spicy
questions. Question number 1 for Kala. When you're using your axe on this tree, are you doing a normal kind of lumberjack cut, or are you
Or is it
doing
more
the crazy eyes,
Well,
overly
frenzied?
enthusiastic?
I'm going across the body.
Okay.
I'm doing
Just-
lumberjack across the body.
I, as a player, am aware of the properties of this axe, but Sal, as a character, is not aware of it.
Yeah, you know,
So-
I imagine it's shaving the wood like really deeply, like more so than you imagine an axe should. You know,
Yeah,
as I'm
but you're,
working
like,
through
cutting it
so
really
it's definitely-
angrily.
Yeah, totally.
What was your other
Too
question? So I
focused.
did one quick- yeah.
The other question is, what kind of tree is it?
It's an
An
oak.
oak tree.
Is it just a standard? It just looks like a regular oak tree. Doesn't change in the environment whatsoever.
Oh,
No, it looks
interesting.
very out of place.
Asoran soil.
that.
Asoran soil.
But how funny would it be? Some dude's gonna be walking by and be like,
I mean, it could be like an invasive species,
fuck is there an
so
oak
we might
tree
be doing
Oh
like,
yeah.
There you
by
go.
getting rid of it immediately.
"Yeah,
No, but you guys just made an excellent point. This is a fully grown tree, right?
yeah."
So it's if I just climb up a bit, I could find
Acorns?
seeds, right?
Yeah.
Acorns.
Do it.
And
Yeah.
we could
Wouldn't
just
grow
plant
instantaneously.
acorns across this, like, you know, as many as we want, you know, for a few minutes.
You could
Let's
and
do it.
ruin the environment.
What's
Yeah,
interesting is the
maybe.
way it falls. I kind of feel like the acorns are gonna get scattered and shake down into the ravine or the cavern
Oh, the
below, and
bottom
then
of
it's
the
gonna be
ravine
like,
is going to be this beautiful fern gully shit.
yep, probably.
Oh, good
didn't
point.
lie
Good
some of that
point.
yet, but
They're
That's
saving-
even better.
to
That's even
grow
We're the
in this
best
soil.
adventurers there ever has been.
You're the greenest adventurers. You're planting trees along the way. I feel
Remember
like
Growing
acorns will fall
ecozones.
1,000 feet.
you ate the locusts, you ate the plants, you eat everything. I feel like Kala, as
It's
you're
for the
cutting,
best.
it, Robert hands you the canteen and like it's kind of like dabbing your forehead and lets you drink.
Aw.
It's like trying to be helpful. And then eventually, yeah, you hear the telltale cracking. Everyone sort of stands back as the tree just and like shakes the earth as it
And all the
lands.
acorns fall down into the fern
Yeah, and then-
gully.
I
Into the
feel like-
fern gully.
And I feel like
canon. It's canon now.
Robert sort of steps up and he's like, let me do this for you guys and make sure it's sturdy and kind of be the test subject. And he begins
No,
walking.
stand back,
Wait,
Thompson.
they're not gonna let him go first. I don't trust
No,
him.
no.
No, that's not why. Because I don't want him to. He's like I'm more sturdy. If
No,
I will
that's
be
what
less
I mean.
likely to fall.
This is someone
That's
who
what I said.
came to a land having never killed anybody, deciding that this wasteland new world was going to be a safe place to start a business. I don't trust what shoes he's wearing over that tree, over this gorge. So maybe
I
he
wanna-
goes second.
I want to tie a rope around whoever it is, just in
Tie a
case
rope
they.
around him, then that's fine.
Great.
He
tie-
stops
Okay.
up and he's like, and he holds his arms up and he like ties it. And he
I don't
sees
trust
you
him to not slip and die, basically.
and he's like, and he stops and he's like, look, you saved me last night.
You saved yourself,
Yeah.
Thompson.
No, and he's like, let me at least do this, you know. And
Yes,
he
prove
begins
yourself.
walking across the tree, and there's sort of like sticks, you know, that are coming up. And he's
Okay.
begins chopping them down for you guys and sort of clearing a path. And yeah, you're like letting out the rope as it gets to the other side, and eventually
That would have been so much easier with a sickle. Or a scythe. So much easier with a scythe.
and then yeah, he gets to the other side, and he
But
sheathes
instead, he
his
has to
blade.
use the
Like-
sword.
he's like,
He
it
keeps
seems-
Showing it to
it
me.
seems
Like,
sturdy.
hey, look, I'm using it.
All right.
I'm using
If he's
it.
made it and he hasn't slipped, that's a good sign. I'm happy to just follow afterwards because I like
And he
to
helped
know
like
inside.
clear some branches and shit too.
Cool. Brea's gonna stay as belayer for now.
Cool.
Who's next?
Sal goes over next.
I'll go next.
Oh, Kala goes over next.
Hal pushes in front of Sal and goes over there. I love it. Yeah, and each of you sort of makes your way across one at a time. Brea, you being at the end.
Yeah.
You sort of get the impression that there are eyes watching you in the woods just as you're about to pass.
I hate that feeling. I want to do a perception check.
Go for it.
Damn it.
What?
Would it be a terrible idea to collapse the tree, to get rid of the tree right now?
That's on you guys. I don't know.
I rolled a 19.
We just made it.
Yeah, you spin around to take a look into the woods.
It'd take ages.
Yeah, plus, if we don't like this place, we're going to have to get back over, and we don't have another tree.
That's
a
the
win-win
thing I'm
thing.
more
Plus, you
concerned
wanna help
about,
other
because
people
I can
that
get
are
this
fast.
thing down real fast. I have a wonderful cantrip for that.
It's called Move Tree.
It's called Mold Earth. I just gotta make a little triangle thing, let it slip down on one side.
That's actually true. Yeah.
No, let's leave it.
Leave it an emergency.
We'll have another tree if you want to go back.
We
so.
don't.
That's true. Okay. This will be our mark upon the land.
So I'm going to use my primeval awareness as an action. You can spend one spell slot, 1 minute per level of the slot, to sense whether any aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fays, fiends, or undead are present within 1 mile of me.
That's
But
awesome.
I think
And forest is my favorite terrain, so if this is a forest, it moves up to 6 miles.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, let's say 6 miles. So, yeah, Brea, are you crossing?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kala, like when she's halfway across, you detect a fey creature, maybe 200 feet behind Brea. And
I mean, on the
beyond
other
that-
side of, on the other
Yeah.
side.
Yeah,
Okay.
beyond that, maybe like 6 miles is so tough. You
I know.
maybe there's other things, but nothing that's like
Oh, right, but nothing. Yeah, no, I'm looking for the immediate, the
what I'm
potential
saying. You
immediate
detect
reveal. Something
that
far
Brea
away. I don't-
maybe
yeah.
sensed. Put it that way.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So nothing. As long as I've struck off those dangers, then we're probably
Yeah,
just.
but you
dealing
do
with,
detect something.
people.
You do detect something
Right,
behind.
right.
Right.
Yeah, that's fine. It's fine.
Like
I
it's
say,
good.
hurry!
I climb over, hand over foot, spooling the rope back as I go.
Cool. Yeah, and the 4 of you make it across. The 5 of you make it across to the other side.
I give everyone high fives.
High five and
top,
1,000
up top.
angels.
You gotta go.
What time of day is it right now?
It's like 4 o'clock.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to move if we are expecting to make it anywhere before dark.
Do we
Shall we?
see anything on the other side other than just more forest? Like, can we make out any
It
sort
seems
of
like the
milestone?
trees here are more sort of sparse for the most part. Like they've been
Okay.
felled around this
You
area.
said we're following a path.
Yeah, you are more or less following a path for sure.
Okay.
Let's
Let's
go.
go.
yeah, let's go.
And so you do. The 5 of you continue marching through the woods and sort of moving towards a destination on the horizon. One that you can't see, but one that you kind of feel is there. And you sort of get far enough into the woods to realize that you're not going to be able to make it there before nightfall comes on. So you begin looking again for a place to camp. Are you looking anywhere specifically, or?
I would like to be a little bit more aware of the dangers. I mean, not that we didn't expect danger, but I'd like to be a little bit more cautious of where we sleep now. Less open, less exposed.
I mean, you could also just push through the night. I mean, who knows how far away it is? You could also just keep going. Like, you guys are all dark vision creatures. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know if that's the best. I feel like being tired in a place like this or weary for whatever reason is not the way to go. Depends on
I figured you for a friend of the night, Sal. A night friend.
Oh, yes, but we've been walking during the day.
Are you saying you're tired?
We'll be all right. You could just turn into a wolf.
I could just turn into a wolf. Oh, I could.
Guys, Sal's sleepy.
I am sleepy too.
Wolves
I've
like
had
the
a
night.
lot of buds. A lot of poison buds.
You got a taste
So
for the
tired
one.
from all these birds, man.
One singular.
Garrus, what do you say?
If we're going to sleep, we should find somewhere that's like we can like put our backs up against something so we're not surprised.
Kala, did you tell any of us about that creature that you sensed?
No, I immediately forgot about it.
Classic Kala.
Well,
Once you were across and I noticed you were safe, I take a look on the horizon, like I, really look, and I don't see anything, and I'm cool with that.
yeah, cool.
Because I feel confident that I could protect you, so I'm not worried about it. That's
Aw,
kind of
nice.
where she comes from.
So I feel like the light is still in the sky, but it's sort of starting to fade, and you sort of go off the beaten track, only just a little bit to look for somewhere.
Yeah.
Robert pulls out his blade and sort of begins hacking at like bushes to move off
Sweet Robert.
before you, Brea. And then as he's sort of like swinging, you hear a, and as you look up, there's an arrow sticking out of Robert's head.
Shit.
He falls back between you, and
I thought he was gonna die on the tree.
there's another arrow that lands in his body,
Damn it, Robert.
solidifying the kill. Everybody
No,
roll for
he
it.
dead.
Fuck.
Yeah.
We could have him make death save. Or is he like
Death
more
save.
than double
No,
his
he
HP?
dead.
You
He
can bring
dead.
him back.
He's not
David's
dead yet.
He has 2 death saves left.
Oh, okay, all right. Harlan's giving him
Bastard.
VIP.
No,
PC,
you said it.
VIPC.
VIPC.
I'm rolling rocks
VIPC.
tonight,
What'd you get?
ladies and gentlemen. I got a 19 plus 3 is 22.
Oh.
That's nice.
12
Wow.
plus 0. 12.
12.
Oh wait, what did I roll? I think I rolled a 10. Hang on, I forgot.
What'd you get, Erica?
Sal rolled a 20.
Oh, nice.
So,
Yeah. They got really high initiative.
where is
They could
everyone
probably
else
save
in
Thompson
relation
if they
to
want.
myself and Robert?
I assume I
We're
was
pretty close by.
definitely behind Robert, and I don't think close enough to be able to jump in and grab or whatever, but enough to run over, I guess. And then wherever you are in relation to that.
But we saw where the arrows. We could directionally see immediately once he's plugged where the arrow came from, right?
Oh yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
It's clear. Like we could look at a direction and maybe see somebody or something. So
Yeah. Let me roll. We'll see how this goes anyway. It might not be a big issue.
Better not be. I'm gonna fucking mess these people up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these 2 arrows sink out, and you sort of look up to see 2 archers in these tree tops. Sort of, there's this small, like, hidden cover, and they're on either side of the road. And immediately a voice calls out and says, "Hold!" The sound sort of echoes out, bellows out for a second,
this
and
is all after.
Yeah. Fires first and ask questions later.
no, absolutely. That's what you hear. Rhea, it's your turn.
I've got my bow out in an instant,
Yeah.
and I see these archers, right?
Yeah.
But
you
I
can
don't
look up.
see the person who.
Give me a perception roll.
Yeah, I want to.
Like, you see the 2 archers immediately because you sort of just crane your neck up.
Natural 1. It was coming.
Oh no!
It was coming, and here it is.
All over the fucking
Yep,
map.
that's me tonight.
one. Oh man.
Yeah, you like look up and you see the silhouette of 2 archers above you, and that's it.
I want to do a little mini soliloquy here, or monologue, or whatever the crap. I'm like, hold! What do you mean, hold? A man is dead.
Yeah. You
It's
say
very
that.
mini soliloquy.
Yeah,
That was real mini.
The shortest soliloquy.
That was a monologue, all right.
With a dramatic pause.
Yeah, you kind of, I mean, you blew your perception, so you don't know what they said. You really blew it. So
Great.
your voice sort of echoes out into the night.
I want to bend over Robert and try to stabilize him.
Okay. You give me a medicine roll. He's like breathing, like you see the arrow in his head.
17.
Okay, yeah. You like hold your
His
hand.
eye.
It's fine. You'll be okay.
Yeah.
He doesn't need
They'll
that
buff
eye.
right
Is that
out.
eye gone now? Is that gone now?
It looks like it is. I don't know. You
Oh.
can't
Like even if you heal him, like
Maybe it was just
he's
above.
not one-eyed.
Oh, he's gonna be
One-eyed
one of those
Thompson.
dudes who's always got an arrow sticking out of his head for the rest of his
Thompson.
life. Like we can't remove
Either way,
it.
he's
but
like, yeah, you can hear like the
Oh,
gurgle
we can't remove it.
blood in his lungs.
Yeah.
And, but you've stabilized him for a moment.
okay, he's not gonna die right now.
Dare
Not the
I
second.
ask whether
Sal, it's your turn.
dare I ask whether lesser restoration works blindness in that case?
No, he's not like the air's not gone. He's like, it's better now.
What a loophole! Nice.
Alright.
That's
Okay.
That would have been really good.
Brea, when you went over there and you stabilized him, does that mean he's still dying?
He doesn't have to make death saves anymore, but he's unconscious still.
Okay.
He's no longer creeping closer towards permanent death. He's just like good for now.
Okay. Where you are, I'd like to go almost basically where you are and where you and Robert are, and I'd like to use mold earth just because it's on my mind now. I want to see if I can set up a little bit of a lump of dirt to try and give us some cover.
Absolutely.
Because,
That's awesome.
Absolutely. That's
Wall of
definitely
dirt,
used
just-
for molder.
yes.
Not around you, but it would give you like a wall.
Yes.
Like you
Well, it's
create a
5
5-foot
foot.
wall.
Mm.
Yep.
I want to make
more
it
than enough to
difficult.
create
Yeah, but it's not an
Yes.
igloo.
Circumstance.
It's a
It's not
5-foot.
igloo.
Like,
Negative. No, but I mean,
well,
we know that
that's what I meant. Like it's beside you, it's not around you. That's what I thought she meant.
yes.
Like it doesn't give you full cover. Is what I'm
Yes,
saying. Like,
forward
it-
facing as much as possible to try and help out here. And then over there, I guess I can shout something. Listen, like, "Don't shoot us again."
I love that. Yeah, yeah. And you give me a perception roll. Let me see more.
Absolutely. I have a 14 for perception.
Okay, not bad. Yeah, you look up at the archer, and you see sort of at the top of this like almost a high hide. You know, you hide high, the high hide.
I like that.
That's a quote. I wonder if anyone knows what that's from.
The Lost World.
Yeah, good.
Give him inspiration. Give him
The
inspiration.
only person who could have known Gary.
Hi.
Glory. Hi. Yeah, that
I
dude
love that.
died so awesome.
Eddie.
I know, Eddie. I love Eddie. Anyway,
And those
and
congas
you
in that
see
scene.
in the dim light, you see the two like silhouettes of what look like maybe children. They're not very large. They're very small, and the two of them are almost frantically between the two of them, sort of like as if they're having a quiet conversation of confusion. You sort of see loud gestures. You can't hear what they're saying, but there's obviously like franticness between them. Their cloaks are pulled up. They have short little sort of like hoods and cloaks, but they're sort of like almost arguing.
I'm going to kind of quietly whisper to my friends, they look small. We haven't had a lot of luck with them so far.
Are you kidding me? Those red caps were small. Look what they did to Robert.
We don't know what kind of caps they're wearing at all. Could be worse. Could be green.
Garrus, it's your turn.
Takes a drink of it.
Garrett
Awesome
will he'll run over to where the Sal and Brea are. He'll put a hand to Robert's chest, and he now has 4 hit points.
Nice.
It's just lay hands. I don't know if that's an action or not. It's just like a
So
thing
what,
I can do.
what happens with the arrows, Harlan? What happens?
Yeah, I feel like the arrows sort of like you know in
they
Indiana Jones
come out like
when they
bullets?
pour the
Yeah,
cup,
yeah.
and, like
Uh-huh. And the bullet just.
pulls them. Kind of like that.
So what about his
Cool.
eye though? Like, what happens to his eye?
Yeah, the eye, it sort of like breaks off, and you see this like metal piece still in his eye. Like his eye is still like wounded. It's sort of lost its color, and it's just red right now because like the blood's not going. You don't know if he can't see it yet.
And
What does he
Yep.
say?
Nothing. He's just still struggling to breathe. He's not
He has
like,
a bit of an accent, but I believe he's saying, ow.
I'm gonna try a persuasion check.
yeah.
If Sal did tell us they were bibbies.
I said they were small.
Shit,
That
yeah.
could
Small?
mean anything.
Yeah, but like, there's tons of small races. You know
Okay.
they're
All
kids.
racists?
That's right.
There's
They could
tons
be.
of small
They're,
racists.
Tons of
prob-
small races.
race-
Probably.
they're
They
anti-human.
killed Robert because he wasn't human.
Which is fair.
Okay.
He's our token human.
Actually, it's funny because there's not many humans in this game.
That's true. Yeah.
All right, Garrus, give me a
I
persuasion.
like it. It's a nice change of pace.
Nat 20.
Whoa! No way.
So 22 to persuasion.
Fuck yeah.
Okay, so what do you say?
He like shout out. I wouldn't say hold your fire because that's inaccurate. It was don't. Yeah, we mean you no harm. Our friend is stable. We can stop this right now. You don't need to. We're not your enemy.
Cool.
Neil
Yeah.
pokes at it from over the earth that Sal made.
Yeah.
I know
Great.
I look scary, but I'm actually quite nice.
No, so far all good. But now it's Cal's turn.
I turn to Garrus and I say, "Good distraction," and I launch like a football player. I go right for the tree and I go right up the ladder that I know is there or something, right? There's a rope ladder or something.
No.
And I mean, if you allow me to go that far, I don't know how far I can go. So you tell me like how far.
Yeah, you won't be able to climb. There's no ladder on the tree, unfortunately.
They climbed it. They climbed it.
You don't know.
They climb when they go to
all
work.
you see is a platform in the tree.
Is the platform facing one side or is it circular around it?
It's surrounding the tree. It's a square
surrounding?
platform with the tree in the center, and it's sort
Okay.
of built on struts.
I love
but
that.
You don't see a ladder.
Yeah, that's fine. I put myself on the side where the one that's on the tree that I'm on has to like go over to get me, and the one that's on the other tree can't shoot through the tree to get me.
So there are
Follow?
two on this one platform. There's a
Oh, they're
second
together.
platform on the
Oh,
other
even
side of the
better.
road. Yeah, that I don't think anyone has sort of said yet, but you'll see in a second, depending on how much you kill people. I
Call
guess.
is gonna kill us.
They're both on the platform. Perfect. So I get right up to the tree and I start scaling it.
Yeah, so you
In
make
a
it like
friendly way?
I don't know, 10 feet up. of a
Also,
single
because
tree.
I have that ability that I could use a bonus action to move up to my speed additionally,
yeah.
right? As aggressive. So I add
Okay.
that to whatever.
Yeah, give me a climb.
And that's
give me a
my turn.
climbing roll
Cool.
for athletics.
That would be athletics. Athletics.
Yeah.
Is that what you like?
Athletics is
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
A 7. I use
Oh,
my.
really?
I can't, oh, am I allowed to use my inspiration? I use my inspiration.
Yeah, you go for it.
Nice.
Oh no.
A 12.
So yeah, you climb the tree. You're so like everyone is so clearly seeing that Cal is fueled by like rage
Blind.
that she's just like climbing the tree. You're like climbing it so frantically that as you're climbing, you get like 10 feet, you're like breaking off branches, and then you're falling down a few feet, and you're climbing up, and then you're falling like a little bit. So you like make it up 20 feet, but
Okay.
it's almost like a futile gesture because you're going up and falling back down. But you're there, you're 20 feet up.
Right on.
Well, let's see if they see that then, I guess.
I'm very concerned because I don't really know what these little guys are, if they are backing down or not.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's their turn. So basically what happens is you hear the voices at the top and they speak, and you hear they're not children exactly. They're sort of like teenagers, and they're like, you hear one of them and it sounds like they're holding back tears, and he's almost peering over the side. He's like, I am so sorry. And then you hear from the far side of the road, sort of the stretching of rope. And Kala, I'll give this to you. You sort of look over and you see another platform that a rope unfurls that's tied off to the top. And with the creaking, you see someone lowering themselves down as if they climb up and then bring the ropes up with them.
Gotcha.
That's the ladder.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And a figure, you hear sort of the clinking of metal. And I imagine the light sort of beginning to dim like softly. And you hear the drawing of steel and the sort of the squeezing leather of someone holding a shield. But they talk. You can tell it's sort of just precautionary. It's a deep voice. Who's there? And I feel like, I mean, again, in my mind, it's so dark, but again, dark vision, all that stuff. And you turn and you see this man, sort of an older man, maybe in his, maybe early 40s. And he's got a shaved head and a stubbly sort of gray-white beard. And he wears a familiar looking pin, the mark of the lion's head. And on top of his chainmail, you see the blue sort of fashion of their emblem tucked into his belt. He nervously looks up towards the two teens in the tree, and back down towards the three of you, sort of cowering on the other side of this thing.
Cowering.
And just says, I feel like there's been a misunderstanding here. Are you willing to talk? And you know what? Let's leave it there for tonight. Because I feel like that's as good a time as any to give everyone some thoughts for thought.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. This was Hereafter, Chapter 15. We're going to be back next week with the next chapter. And of course, this Saturday, starting at noon to midnight, we're going to be doing a game-a-thon, 12 hours of video games and some RPGs to help the GoFundMe for our friend Aaron and his wife, who are going through a tough time. So hang out with us, even if you want to come by and just chill. Again, it's going to be a marathon, so we'll be there for quite a while. That is it from us. Hope you have a wonderful night. As my good friend Gary always likes to say,
always bury your poop. Just bury it, get rid of it.
Always bury your poop, everyone. Not